What's up, everybody? This is Patrick Cleveland, psychotherapist and owner of Daybreak Counseling Center in Long Beach, California. I just wanted to do a short video on cultivating mindfulness and 3 reasons why it is good for you and why it is an important thing to strive for. And so, what does that mean? So I'll give you 3 reasons. Number 1 is anxiety. It is the ability to ways to cultivate mindfulness. First would be meditation, slowing down, not rushing, and in meditation, probably the most important primary way to cultivate mindfulness, and why that's important is because it helps you to step back from your thoughts. And if you're able to step back from your thoughts, then you can work on not being so anxious, not so identified with your thoughts, because usually it's the thoughts that are driving or causing the anxiety. And meditation helps you to slow down and go into what they call the witness observer of the thoughts. In other words, you create a subject-object distinction. In other words, you are not your thoughts. You are the subject behind your thoughts. And this took me a long time, so I'll tell you a little bit about why this is important. And for years, I have a second master's in philosophy. I identified with myself as the thinker, as someone who thought, I really valued thought in my head, thinking all these ideas, philosophical theories, etc. Always doing, thinking. I thought that thinking was the way to go, and there were some pluses to that, but there's some downsides too. And one of them is that I realized I had a really hard time just being present, just being present with people, connecting with people, because I'm always up here thinking about the next thing. What am I going to do next? What better way could I be spending my time right now? So that was a downside of that, and so of just being too over-identified with thoughts. So, once I got into mindfulness and started to work on cultivating mindfulness, I started to step away from my thoughts, and you are not your thoughts. Part of meditation is you get to see your thoughts just like an object, just like a tree, just like a bird flying by. Your thoughts are the same thing. You're not your thoughts. You're the witness of your thoughts. And so that can do a lot to alleviate anxiety, because you're not so identified with your thoughts. You don't have a thought of like, oh, I got to do this thing, and you got to go do the thing. Like, oh no, that might just be a thought. You might not have to jump to that. So number 1, relieving anxiety. Number 2, being present. The ability to be present and not in your head, all the time. Like I said, this is something that I struggle with, and that mindfulness has really helped me to breathe. I don't even notice this, but part of meditation is focusing on the breath, and coming back to the breath. And I notice that when I'm in conversation with people that I will clench up. I won't breathe. I'll be stiff, and I won't, be present. I'll be like, tensed up. And so, the meditation kind of helps you reconnect with your body and helps you kind of see when you're doing that, And now I have like a kind of this is the mindfulness part. Like I'll notice that in conversation, like, oh, you're not breathing right now. Like start breathing, and then I'll breathe, and I'll relax, and I'll be able to connect with the person and be present. But before I was always like, well, what's the next thing? How I had this sense of urgency, like how else could I be spending my time? Like I said. And, cultivating mindfulness has really just helped me to be more present. I'm by no means a master at this. I have, in Buddhism, what they call beginner's mind. And I love beginner's mind. And beginner's mind is something we should always cultivate with everything. We don't have to be these experts who know things. It's like, let's be curious. Let's investigate and be open. So that would be number 2, would be, to be present. Number 3 is to relax the ego. When you're identified with your thoughts and you're thinking and you're doing and you're planning, a lot of it is to ward off pain or to strategize, plan. What can I do for myself? What can I get? A lot of it is ego talk, And once you start to separate and see that you are not your thoughts, and not to be so identified with thinking, and start to connect to your heart more and to your emotions and what you're feeling, oh man, it can just relax the ego. And once again, this is something I've struggled with, self-identity, trying to, be somebody, and, achieve things and all this, and mindfulness can really help to relax some of those things. So those are kind of 3 reasons why cultivating mindfulness can be good for you. And meditation is a big start, and also can just be slowing down and doing things in a more mindful way. When you're exercising, don't think about what you're going to do after. Focus on your breath, focus on your body and what's happening in the moment. You don't have to sit and meditate, although that is a really good way to cultivate it. You can start just breathing and being more present in whatever it is you're doing right now. In other words, to just be here now in the present moment. Whether you're cooking food, you're chopping food, then you really be present with the activity that you're doing. All these ways are ways to cultivate mindfulness, and these are some of the things it can do for you. I hope you found this helpful and interesting. All right, peace.